Hi, I'm Kobe Rodgers. I'm a senior at St. Xavier High School, and I'm committed to Nova Southeastern University.
It's getting serious on this track, fam.
Kobe Rodgers, welcome to What's in Your Bag. Now, I want to start with this. You play in the GCL, one of the toughest conferences not only in the greater Cincinnati area, but maybe one of the top sports conferences in the country. Do you agree with that?
Oh, for sure, 100%.
And you are a senior leader on the St. X basketball team. You guys are 15-2.
Yep.
Just won a share of the GCL South title. You are the leading scorer in the league, number 1 in steals, 2nd in assists, and 2nd in rebounds. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, you're having one of the better senior seasons that I've ever seen in this city. That just didn't happen, right?
Not at all.
It just didn't happen one day. You have a journey, okay? And I want not only myself, but everyone out there to kind of hear about your journey to getting to your senior year. And we're going to do that with 3 different items, okay? One, of course, has to be a pair of shoes.
Yeah, of course.
And the other 2 can be whatever you want. And once again, I have no clue what items you have,
Yep.
okay? But first, I want to start with your bag.
All right, the bag, I think I got this in 3rd or 4th grade, so I've had this bag for a while.
That's 3rd or 4th grade?
Yeah, so I've kept
Wow.
it in pretty decent shape. I mean, I got some tears and rips and scuffs on it, but it's still pretty good. It has my last name on the back. Funny story, I actually tried to get my first name, Kobe, on it, but since Kobe had his shoes and all that back then, it was trademarked, so I could not do that.
Really?
Yeah, so I had to stick with the last name, but I'm like, I'll take it as is. At least I get the name on it so that everyone knows it's mine.
For sure.
The colors, I actually didn't really know what colors to pick. Like in 3rd and 4th grade, I was all into like neons, blues, purples, and all that. So I just tried to go for like the most outstanding, different bag than everyone else. Yeah.
Sure. You were number 1 back then?
I was number 1 back then, then I changed it up. I had to change. I think I changed it in 8th grade going into 9th grade. So I've been 11 from now on.
So why not 24? I mean, you're a big Kobe fan.
Yeah,
I would
fan.
assume. And
Yeah.
and the name?
Yeah. So actually about the name, my mom always told me growing up, don't ever tell anyone you're named after Kobe Bryant.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
She said because you were supposed to make it like your own thing. I wasn't copying anybody or anything.
Right.
But last year, I got asked to do an interview on like my name and everything about it. And she actually told me the true story was she was in the hospital about to go into labor, and she saw Kobe Bryant like after a game doing an interview, and she said, "Wow, he's so like articulate. He knows how to speak. He's intelligent. It's not all basketball with him." And she was like, "That's what I want my son's name to be." And like I guess the secondary meaning to it is great warrior, so that has a pretty good background too.
So where were you when you found out that he passed away?
I was on my couch. I woke up from a nap, and I just heard my mom yelling, "Kobe, Kobe, come upstairs!" And I just see Kobe Bryant dies in a helicopter crash, and I just was silent. I didn't even know what to say.
I mean, how did that impact you? I've heard so many different athletes and basketball players, you even heard about tennis players, soccer players, that were largely impacted by his death.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, everyone's like, "Oh my God, I want to be like Kobe, fadeaway jump shots, all that." So just like having the same name as him, like that's just like an honor. It's unbelievable. And to be called the Finneytown Mamba, especially in high school, that has I feel like I have a certain respect to pay to that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
January 26th this year, you guys played at Covcath.
Yep.
And you hit the game-winning shot. That was on the day of the 1-year anniversary of Kobe's death.
Yeah.
Wow, that was. I mean, did it hit you
I actually didn't realize. I knew it was the anniversary of his death, but in the game, it didn't really click for me. Like, oh, like I actually just hit that shot on, like, his anniversary. And the crazy thing is, I don't think Joe Danneman mentioned it, but I was wearing Kobe's that day.
Really?
Yeah, I was wearing Kobe AD Royal Blues.
Oh, it was meant to be. And we're going to talk a lot about, your year this year that you're having and the great shots you've had, the great games you've played. We're really going to dive into that in a little bit. But first, let's start off with your sneakers.
All right.
I'm a sneaker guy. So.
Yep.
Okay. KD's.
Yeah, I switched it up.
I was expecting some Kobe's.
Yeah,
but
switched it up.
Okay. All right. Which ones are these?
The BHM, Black History Month.
Black History Month. Cool. Yep. Okay. Tell us a little bit why this shoe. Why'd you pick this?
So I actually got these shoes over the summer. So these are actually a pair of newer shoes. But I picked these out because I heard about my first offer in these shoes. So, I mean, everyone growing up wanted to play college basketball. That's always been a big dream of mine. So, like, hearing my name, like, being said, we're giving you an offer to come to our school it's just, like, unbelievable. It's like I really did what I've always dreamed about doing. So I had to bring these out. I don't think I've actually worn these since that day.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've worn them since then.
And I could tell, like, you're so excited to play college basketball, and it's a dream of yours and a lot of other, high school basketball players. So tell everybody again where you're going.
Nova Southeastern University. It's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
That's right near Miami.
Yeah.
So
trying to get on the beach, trying to get out this snow.
Oh, this snow. We're supposed to have a big snowstorm here this week, so soon you'll be way away from that.
Yeah, you'll be chilling on the golf course, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the head coach, he's got some great history. I believe he was at West Liberty before, and he's up there with some of the top coaches. So you're going to be learning once again from not only your high school coach, but a great college coach as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I think right now he's the winningest coach of all time in any division, and they have a fantastic coaching staff. Coach Fee down there, just telling me, giving me stuff now, watching the games, giving me stuff I need to work on. Going over plays that I could have done better. I could have made an extra pass or took a better shot. But I'm just so excited to go down there and learn from their coaching staff.
And why'd you choose that school?
I mean, one, of course, you got to mention the location is just beautiful, being right next to the beach, 30 minutes away from Miami. But really, when I went down there on my official visit, meeting the players, they actually have Alex Mangold from down there,
from Dakota East.
Eddie Puis that went to Mason.
Yep.
So to getting a feel of Cincinnati guys that I've played against, I actually played against Alex, but guys that have been up here in the Cincinnati area, and then hearing how much they're loving it and how much they're getting better, it was a complete sell for me.
So how did they kind of get involved with Cincinnati kids? So you'll be the third one.
Mm-hmm. So I think, if I remember this correctly, they recruited Coach Fee out of Cincinnati. So he went to the Division I school in Detroit, and then went up to West Liberty and played with for Coach Crutch. And they came down here for a while. They saw Eddie, and then after that, they just kept coming back to Ohio. So, I mean, I'm grateful that they gave me an opportunity to play down there.
Yeah. What are some of your goals that you've set when you go to college to play basketball?
Just make an immediate impact for sure. I don't want to be a guy that's just sitting on the bench, but I'm just going to be there for the team, whatever I need to do to help them get wins and hopefully win a conference championship and then a national championship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing it in beautiful weather.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can't beat that. All right, so KD, we were talking about KD a little bit before we started this.
Yep, Slim Reaper.
Slim Reaper, and I was saying, KD is one of my favorite basketball players to watch right now. He is so skilled.
Yeah.
And I was saying before we started that, every time I watch KD, it looks effortless.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's done that move over and over in the gym, by himself. Is that something that you do where you're in the gym in the off season, even during the season, working on your craft?
Yeah, so over the summer, last year I was really just a two-way player, either spot up threes or get into the rim. So this summer I wanted to work on my mid-range game a lot. So a move that I've actually been working on a lot throughout the year, help with Coach Noska, Coach Cook, I grew up with him as a coach, was a step back. So that has become one of my patented move, I guess you would call it. I think I've shot one at least once every game, maybe twice. It depends on how it's looking.
Yeah.
But the mid-range games is something that I've been really trying to get locked in because, I mean, the mid-range game is now lost. Not a lot of people are shooting it, but, I mean, when you hit it, it's a tough shot.
It'll come back around.
Yeah.
That's the game of basketball. Those things come right back around. So let's talk about Coach Noska a little bit. He's in his second year, and he's come in, and I've known him for a long time, and obviously he was at Wilmington before St. X, and he's coached a lot of good players.
Yes, he has.
Jaron Cumberland being one of those who obviously played at the University of Cincinnati. He's in the G League right now. And Noska told me that he's coached a lot of really high-level good players, and you're right there with all of them. Yeah.
I mean, Coach Noska is one of the best coaches actually probably one of the, if not one of the best coach I've ever played for.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's honest with you. I mean, when you mess up, he'll let you know about it. But, I mean, I can't ask for that more than enough. He just expects so much out of you, expects so much from the team, and he just doesn't take no for an answer. So, I mean, he's just a wonderful coach.
Now, he invited me to a practice last year. Do you remember when I came to
practice?
practice?
Yeah, I do remember that, yep.
And I spoke to you guys, after, which I didn't know he was going to ask me to speak, so that was kind of like off the cuff. But it was funny. During practice, it's a true story, he came over to me, and I was sitting on the baseline in the rafters. He came over to me, and he pointed to you, and he says, he's the best player in the city. And I looked at him, and I was like, really? And I'm thinking, okay, he's a little biased. He goes, he's got some things to work on, but he's the best player in the city. I mean, he had that much confidence and faith in you. And obviously, he's put a lot of time in helping you develop. And the thing that really sticks out to me about you is you're a complete player. I mean, look at your stats from steals to rebounds to, I heard that you lead the team in charges.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I think I'm in double digits, actually, from maybe 2 games ago,
And he also said that you're one of the best, and you don't hear this a lot, you're one of the best screeners on the team.
Screening is a big thing in our offense, running an motion offense. Screening guys to get other guys open, not being selfish with the ball, not a whole lot of dribbling. So screening and cutting is just at the top of the priority list in our program.
Sure. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, let's get on to your second item.
All right.
Oh. Yep. I don't know where you're going with
Had
this.
to bring it out.
Man. Go ahead. I'll let you talk.
So my freshman year, I decided to play freshman football. So I played football from 3rd grade to 7th grade, and I stopped in 8th grade just because I wanted to focus on basketball a little bit more. And then I did the summer football camps for St. X, and all the coaches were like, oh, come out. You're going to do great. And I actually joined the team late. So I think I joined maybe 2 weeks late. And on the first play of the first game, I went out to go make a tackle, and I tore my ACL. So that was just, I remember being in the doctor's office and like hearing those 3 letters, and it was just so crushing. I started crying. My mom started crying. I think my grandma was in there, and she started crying. But, you know, like that injury is like one of those where it could really end your career as an athlete.
Sure.
So just hearing that was just crushing to my soul. Yeah.
And I remember the practice once again that I was at. You probably don't even remember this, but I actually called you over and I asked you about your brace. I said, why do you still wear that? And you were like, well, just to make sure. But you had and I've been through knee problems and knee injuries. I know a lot of other players that have, and it's not an easy.
Not at all.
You doubt yourself, right? So talk about that journey to recovery.
So it's definitely a more mental journey than it is physical. I mean, of course, you got to get your strength back in your legs. It's like your entire leg, so it goes with your quads to your calf, even down to your ankles. But going to physical therapy, hour a day, it's exhausting and it's mentally draining. So the fight is more like a mental fight, trying to get back to where you were, and knowing like if I don't do this, then I may not be able to play again at the level that I want to play at. So just as much as it's physical, it's probably 2 times as more mental.
And to recover and make it back to the court, it's just not you. You have to have other people, to help you. Was there a doctor involved?
Yeah, Dr. Langendorfer. So I got introduced from him from Liam Clifford, our wide receiver at St. X. Yep. So he had a bad leg injury.
He's headed to Penn State.
Yep.
His brother's there.
Yep. Had a brotherly connection.
Yep.
So he had a bad knee injury in 8th grade going into 9th grade that kept him out from football. But I mean, look at him now. So you can't say Dr. Langendorfer didn't do a great job. So his mom gave my mom his number, and when I first met him, I was like, I am trusting this guy to get me back where I need to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, we sat down. You could just tell, like, in his eyes, he was picturing every move he was going to make in surgery, every mark, every needle poke, whatever it was. He was going to make sure I got back to where I wanted to go.
And you knew you were in good hands.
Yeah.
And you were in such good hands that I noticed on your Twitter, when you committed to college, you gave the doctor a shout out.
Yeah, the doctor and his whole staff, physical therapy, all of them. One of them was an elder grad, so I mean, I got a little stuff from him, but I mean, I can't complain. He was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, without Dr. Langendorfer, I don't think I could be where I am today.
Yeah, and I think too, Kobe, to get where you are, that you've had a great senior season and you're getting ready to play in the tournament. You guys got Goshen, first round. A lot of people are involved in that journey. And I know you had this injury, but you need that support system. You've mentioned your mother quite a bit. Yeah. Talk about the impact of your mother in your life.
My mom she's my rock. She's my world. Without her, none of this is possible. I just want to say thank you to her. She's just one of those moms where, like, she'll comfort you when you need to be comforted, but when it's time to get down to work, when it's time to grind, she's right there with you. So late nights, getting in the gym, she'll be there rebounding for me, making sure I hit free throws, because, I mean, free throws are essential, especially in the tournament. You can win games, lose games. We learned that last year, which we don't want to go through again. But she's more than I could ask for, and I just can't even imagine my life without her.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's very proud of you and recovering and now going to play in college. So one question I wanted to ask you, why did you choose St. X?
So funny story, St. X actually was not my choice. So I was down to like 3 other schools. And I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, where do you want me to go? She was like, well, I'm not going to say that. This is your decision. But with her talking to my sister has a loud mouth, so I already knew she was going to tell me. So she was like, well, she really wants you to go to St. X. I was like, you know what? Since she wants me to go there, I'm trusting her with my life, with my protection, I'm going to go there and make her happy, so to say. But, this going to St. X has probably been one of the best decisions in my life.
Why is that?
Just the Men for Others attitude, the Modus, everything that they teach there, the academics getting me ready for college, the teachers, the coaching staff, the faculty. They just expect the best out of you. They won't let you down. They won't let you do any more than perfect. So they expect perfection. So they say, if I'm saying like you aim for the moon and hit the stars or something like that, just being able to make sure that you get ready for the real world, because soon enough you're going to be in there. Yeah,
you said a great quote, aim for the moon, and even if you miss, you're still amongst the stars.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, there have been a lot of stars that have come out of St. X. Think about Walt Gibbler, Brad Losing, Greg Scruggs, who's now at UC, the Cornett brothers, amazing family there. But I think one of the things I'm naming off those guys, and there are many more, but not only did they go on and do great things in college, but they're doing great things in life right now. And I think, that St. X culture and education you get helps lead to that.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan Cornett, he actually works at ESPN now. After our game on Friday, ending the streak against Moeller, he was the second person behind Danny Grieve to call us in the locker room, just giving us praise, telling him how proud he was of us, telling us like we deserve this, all this work that we put in, Coach Noska being there, all the work from last year's seniors. He's one of a kind. I got to meet him. He came to one of our practices actually last year. I think it was a couple days or weeks after yours.
Okay.
Just coming there. He went to the Elder game last year at home.
Okay.
So, I mean, that whole, I think it was that 2002, 2000 state championship team, they were there. So to see a whole alumni being able to carry on that legacy of greatness at St. X has just been an honor.
Yeah, and you're doing, if you go back and look, I mean, just 2002 and beyond that, you're right up there with all of them, Kobe. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but just the season that you're having is phenomenal. I know a lot of people, and I know your mother is very proud of you.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about your third item.
All right. Family picture.
Family picture here. So we're on a boat.
Yeah, so that was, I believe we were in St. Lucia back then.
Okay.
So we went for a little family vacation. Me, my mom, my dad, and my sister.
Now, why is this picture so important to you?
Because that just shows like my foundation, where I came from. So my dad actually passed away in 2015 after a 5-year battle with brain and lung cancer. So just having him up above looking over me, and he was actually a referee, so at like every other game last year and even this year, referees come up to me saying, "Oh, your dad was a great guy.
Oh, wow.
You're making him proud." So I mean, when they say it, it's like, wow, my dad really touched the lives of many, and hopefully I'm making him proud and carrying on his legacy.
How old were you when he passed away?
I was 12 years old.
You're 12 years old.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you probably still think about him.
Oh, for sure, all the time.
All the time. How tough was it for you when it initially happened, and how have you, and this will help out a lot of other kids that might go through this, how have you overcome, dealing with it? You don't ever overcome it, but you've had to deal with the passing of your father.
So I actually told my mom a week before he passed away, she said, "What do you want me to do if he passed away while you're at school?" I was like, "Just send me to a friend's house, and then have like my cousin or have you come and pick me up, and then just we can talk about it on the way home." And the day it happened, she texted one of my friends' moms and said, "Can you take Kobe and I'll pick him up later?" And I think when she said that, I was like, "Oh man, this really just happened." But as a 12-year-old, like it's just like sunshine and rainbows, so you don't really think about it. So I don't think it really hit me like he's gone until maybe 13, 14. So I mean, I don't even think I cried at his funeral. I don't think I cried after I heard it. But when I turned 13 and 14, I think that's when it really hit me. I remember one night I went to my mom's room. I just started crying, just like, "Oh, I miss him, all of this." And she said, "I mean, you can't get him back, so you just got to make him proud from where you are now."
And I tell you what, this senior year you're having, you've definitely made him proud. Do you feel like he's had some impact in your game this year? We'll talk about that.
Growing up, I mean, he was a baseball player. He played in the MLB. So I was like, man, maybe I should go play baseball. He was like, "No, I want you to play what you want to play." So, I mean, him taking me to games in high school, being able to sit on the sideline, watching him ref, we would always talk about, like, what could have they done better? So I think that's where I get some of my IQ from, passing and anticipation on the defensive end. Just being able to read the floor, read defenders, that all really came from him going to games in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Just being able to read the floor and just get a better feel of the high school game.
Yeah. Let's dive a little bit into this season. I forget how many years ago this is now, but there was a young man that played at LaSalle named Justin Orr. I don't know if you ever heard that name before.
No.
Justin Orr, and I've been watching high school basketball in Cincinnati for a long time.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he had one of the best senior years that I've ever seen a high school basketball player in this area have. Justin Orr hit game winner after game winner, big shot to beat Moeller, to beat Elder, to beat St. X. I mean, every game he just stepped up. And I kind of liken your senior year this year to a Justin Orr. I think you're right up there with that type of player and that type of season, just because it just seems like every time I get on Twitter, every time I turn on the news, here's the Finneytown Mamba. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see it. I mean, it all just comes from hard work in the gym, confidence from my coaching staff, from my teammates. I mean, without them, none of this is possible. Just pushing me in practice every day. The juniors, the sophomores, even the freshmen. Just making sure I keep myself to where I need to be, being safe, being smart, and just giving me the confidence to go out there and make plays.
So let's talk about the big game.
Yeah.
All right. There's one big game we have to talk about.
Yes, there is.
And that was Friday night
Yep.
at Moeller High School on their senior night. You guys go at Moeller and beat Moeller for the first time since?
It's been 19 years on their floor and 15 years on ours. So it's been a while.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that has to be one of the biggest sports moments
for sure.
you.
I mean, got to give credit to Moeller. They're one of the best programs in the state,
for sure,
and maybe even in the country. But being able to play against them every single year, just seeing like how they develop their players. They got Miles McBride at West Virginia, Jackson Hayes in the NBA. They just
go on and on.
Produce some great players.
Yeah.
So I mean, got to give credit to them. But all the hard work that we put in last year with the seniors last year, bringing in Coach Noska, all the way up to this year, it's just been hard work after hard work after hard work. And I mean, the big game is always Moeller. I mean, there's Elder in the South. I mean, they're two of the best teams in the state also. But once it comes Moeller week, it's grind time. It's like this is it. This is why you came to GCL. This is why you came to Cinex, to go beat that school on Montgomery Road.
Yep.
So finally being able to do it in my last game of the regular season, my senior year, having to spoil their senior night, it was just, I mean, one of the best feelings I could have ever asked for.
And you guys are on a 6-game winning streak. Your last loss was at home versus Moeller.
Yep.
Correct? Now let me ask you this. In relation to the game against Moeller, one of the things about you, Kobe, since I've gotten a chance to know you, you're always so cool.
Yeah.
Like you're so even keel, and you're like that on the court. So what's your mentality going into a game like Moeller's where you have to have high energy?
Yeah.
Right? Not that you're not a high energy guy. You are just really smooth and really cool, and you don't really show a ton of emotions on the court. That game, I watched on the internet, you showed some emotion that game, hitting some threes.
Sure.
You let them know, I hit this three.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
I mean, you just never want to be too high or too low. You never know when momentum could swing the other way, and you just got to. They say, "Team, we're here. Like this is it. We can't be messing around anymore." But I mean, this all just comes back to my mom. She said, "Always like never react." So if they come down, hit a three, I mean, they hit a shot. That's a great shot, but we got to come down the other end. We got to get a score. We got to get a stop, whatever it is. So you just got to stay even keeled, not get too high. Because, I mean, the momentum could swing just like that, and the game could be over. You never know. Last year, we were up in the district championship against LaSalle. We were high emotions, and, I mean, it came back to bite us. Missing free throws, giving up open shots. So ever since that loss last year, I've tried to keep my emotions to a low until I hear that final buzzer and seeing 3-0s on the game clock. And then once that hits, then all my emotions come out, either upset, anger, happiness, just like it was on Friday night. So just trying to stay even keeled, even with my teammates. I remember in the Covcath game, after I had the shot, there was still 6 seconds left, and everyone was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No, this game's not over yet."
Right,
I mean,
sure.
we're up 1. There's still 6 seconds left. They can come down and hit a shot. The game could be over. And they're like, "All right, you're right." And they came down, got a stop. Came down, knocked 2 free throws. Game's over. Then now we can celebrate. We got the win. We can move on. We can celebrate this locker room and then head over and get ready for the next game.
Yeah, and you have to be careful too. And I think Noska said something about this, where celebrating on Moeller's floor a little too much, because you guys could play them again in the tournament. You want to play it cool. Hey, you know what it takes now. You guys have a chance to win a state championship this year, and you being the leader of the group. I mean, how does that feel?
Oh, it's great. Coach Noska, I mean, it just comes back to confidence. After the game, he was like, "You guys can celebrate, enjoy this, but I mean, you have to act like you've been there before." I mean, you got to give credit. They're a great team, but celebrating on their floor after destroying their senior night, you already know they're going to be coming ready to play for, I guess it would be regional semis. So we're expecting to see them again. I mean, we still have great confidence. I mean, we just got to get through each round, take game by game. Each game we're 0-0, just trying to make it to 1-0 and make it to the next day.
Yeah. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, and you might not even realize this, or you may, the impact you're having on that next generation of players at St. X. So think about this. This senior year you're having, you've led this group to the first win against Moeller since 2006 or whatever that is. That's huge. And you think about some of the guys that played before you that were, big stars at St. X, the Johnny Wolfs.
Yep.
There was I remember talking to Johnny Wolf after his senior year, and he went on to play at Xavier. And there were a whole group of kids that came up through St. X after him that were all wearing T-shirts just like him, had the kids coming in that are looking at you. They're seeing the statistics you have this year. They're seeing the impact that one player could have from last year to this year. You've made a really, really big leap.
Yeah.
Do you realize the impact you're having?
No, I try to keep that like on the low. I'm really just trying to stay focused. But this all comes back from my freshman year, seeing Bobby Jefferson, Chase Wolf, Nate Stockman. They set the foundation. They set the standard.
Yep.
Even the last year seniors, B.J. Bransford, Hank Thomas, Avery Wilson. Coach Noska always stresses it's all about the seniors. So this is their last year. Like, you got to make it. You got to give everything you have for them. Now being a senior, it's like I don't even have to worry about my juniors or my sophomores, whoever it is coming in the game, because I know they're going to play for me. They're going to play for Mike Razio, Joe Kirby, Chris McClure. They're going to play for us and make sure they get done what they need to get done so we can keep winning games.
I tell you what I love about you. Everything we've discussed so far, you've given credit to somebody else.
Yeah.
And you've given credit to other people that have impacted your journey. That's a special person. And the more you can do that along the way, in college, beyond that, you're always going to be successful, Kobe, as long as you keep remembering those people that impacted you. When you finish up playing college basketball, what's your goal beyond that?
Definitely looking at pros. Overseas, NBA, whatever it is. I would love to play basketball for the rest of my life, but my mom always stresses you got to have something else. So I've actually been in touch with Jordan Cornett about trying to get in the sports field.
Yeah.
Sports announcer, sports management, whatever it is. I just really do want to stay around sports for as long as possible. Yeah.
I think you'd be fantastic at that. You've got a good voice, good delivery. You know your stuff. You remember things. I think you'd be great at that.
Yeah.
I'd make sure I'd stay in touch with him.
Yeah, for sure. Especially him being a St. X grad. I feel like that's a shoulder that I can lean on, especially if I don't go pro or whatever it is. That's definitely a shoulder or a guy that I can trust.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I know your 3 items are such a big part of your journey. The grind to get to, you talked about, the scholarship offer and committing in these shoes and that impact, the journey of rehab and becoming the player you are today, and the impact of your mother and your dad looking over at you. Yeah. And I'm sure you've got a lot of years ahead of you of just great things to happen. This is just the start. So I want to thank you, for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Did a great job, man.
Appreciate it.
Best of luck in the tournament.
Yep.
You have a chance to win a state championship.
Yes, we do.
Stay focused.
Yes, sir.
Lead. All right, Kobe.
Perfect.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kobe. Part of coming on the show, most people's favorite part, besides talking to me, is you get free food from our presenting sponsor, Penn Station. So you get some free food tonight, man. What you think?
Oh, my mom is gonna love this. She doesn't have to probably cook tonight either. This is gonna be dinner. Right, quick 5-minute drive down the street.
There you go. Yeah. That's good, man. Give Penn Station a shout out.
Thanks, Penn Station. Thanks for inviting me on here, Mr. Meach. I'm about to enjoy these subs.